Paris is very diverse compared to other parts of France. It's like y'all can show more diversity. That's all we got to see. Just like white. Coucou, what's up? Bienvenue with Kadija, aka the musingknomad, and I'm back for another Emily in Paris review. So if you haven't already seen my previous review, go check it out. This was just a generalized review where I'm just giving you my primitive views about some of the things that I saw, and it had no spoilers, and I just thought was really intriguing and funny. And I'm also going to try to continue to not do any spoilers as well for this particular review. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Help your girl get to 1,500 subscribers, and let's get started. So today's review, I want to touch on some of the ridiculous things that I saw in the show, and also some of the absurdities that I saw, and a lot of the generalization that I saw. So in and of itself, this show is kind of making a parody of the French and Paris, right? And it's coming from the point of view of some white girl American who comes to try to take charge and change the dynamic of an office space in the country where she doesn't know the language, etc. This is something a lot of English speakers tend to do. Unfortunately, a lot of Anglophones, when they travel, when they go to somewhere new, they don't make the effort to actually have learned the language or learn the language to make it more easy for them, right? It's like you come to a place because you speak English, you expect everybody to speak English and kind of bend to your will, and that doesn't happen. That's like, where does that happen? It's like if somebody came to your country and was speaking whatever language they're speaking, are you gonna bend to their will? No, you're gonna be like, no, you're in America, speak English. And let's just say, okay, because this used to be my argument when people were like, you're in America, speaking English. Like, first of all, English is not the official language of the U.S., but currently I've been corrected. As of, I think, 2016 or 2018, some Republican or some representative made it into law. But in the past, English was never the official language of the U.S. So a lot of times people would say that, I'm like, they're dumb as fuck. Shut the fuck up, okay? But a lot of times, a lot of English speakers do have this mentality. And obviously within the show, she did make an effort to take French class. So, that will take time. And we knew that, like, the reason they chose her is because her boss was pregnant, etc., etc. Okay, whatever. But it's like you have this idea that, like, I'm this American, I have a perspective, I'm gonna come and change things and blah, blah, blah. Instead of, like, easing your way into the work structure, learning things and, taking note, and then bringing forth your idea, not coming to take over like the French or whoever don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because obviously they've had this company for a long time, right? So you can see the contention that she has with her boss, where it's like, you didn't even make the effort to learn the language. You're just going to come here thinking that stuff, you're going to change things just like that. Like, girl, calm the fuck down, right? Second, girl, who the fuck is walking around in Paris in heels or dressed like that? First of all, Paris is cold, especially in the wintertime, autumn, wintertime. It's cold, okay? And if you have ever walked on cobblestone streets with heels, you're playing Russian roulette with your ankles, because any slip up, ankle. Like, I was like, when she kept dressing like that, okay, I was like, girl, what? And I understand, when Americans come or think about Paris, especially like if you've seen Sex and the City, it's like, oh my god, I feel like I need to go and dress really, really bad and sharp so everybody can like notice me, and they think that like I'm not standing out and I'm like a French, I'm French. But it's like, you come to Paris or France in general, everybody just wearing black. I mean, they look chic, but it's like they're just wearing black and they're simple and chill. But you're just like, let me just stand out and be extra. And the thing too, when she went to work at like 8, I'm like, so your job didn't let you know that the Paris office starts at 10? Because in France, generally speaking, most offices, I would say, start around 9:10, right? Let's say 9:30-ish. So it's like, your job didn't let you know we start at this time? Like, why would you show up in some slinky ass outfit? Because it was cold. I'm like, well, girl, 8 in the morning, you wearing stiletto heels walking to work? But anyways, why would you show up that early? Like, how were you not aware of that? Didn't you get a memo about that? Like, that obviously wasn't realistic. And a lot of the things that we saw on the show obviously were generalized, over generalized, and a lot of parody kind of the French. But there's a lot of things, like I mentioned before, which are true, right? For example, I would say older men are quite creepy in France. I stand by that. I've experienced that. I know many people who've experienced that. If I'm wrong, I don't know what to tell you, but that, in my personal experience, from what I've seen, I find older French guys to be creepy. I do. Like, they're fucking creepy to me. That's just my personal experience. So with regards to that, I'm like, okay, I get it. But then trying to push this thing of like, oh, you know, they're just people that are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, you know, trying to put this narrative that they're not monogamous or they just kind of cheat or whatever. That could be true. Personally speaking, I've never been in like a triangle relationship situation, but I've definitely heard things here. But, you know, it could be true, but it definitely did kind of poke at that a lot, saying that, you know, Frenchmen in particular were not faithful, etc. It could be true, it could be true, but it definitely did overgeneralize that. But one thing I wanted to touch on that I failed to touch on last time, I think one of the things that I really value about French people when it comes to making friends, because they made it a lot easier on this show than they did than it is in real life. It is not that easy to become friends with French people. That's truth, okay? Like, the friend who took her to meet her family, even though it was for a business thing, it was still kind of like they were creating a friendship, right? But generally speaking, that don't happen like that. Like, in France, like, you could get in a relationship within a week. Okay, but to be claiming someone's your friend, and when I say I mean friend, I mean your friend, that's gonna take a long time. That doesn't happen overnight, because Americans, we're quick to make friends, right? But it takes longer for us to get in a relationship. Here, it's the opposite, right? And I've said that many times before in my other French videos. But in the show, I was just like, girl, it wouldn't happen this quickly, but you know, with your little white girl happy-go-lucky-ness, perhaps it could happen. But it definitely did poke a lot at stuff, and, you know, obviously with like the cuisine and blah blah blah. I've said this in my video where I talked about French cuisine is meh. I stand by that. You don't have to agree with me, you can disagree with me. I'm sure a lot of you are going to dislike my video, not because I said that, but yeah, there's a lot of, I think, simple things French do perfectly. For example, pastries, baguettes, things like that. Simple things they do very, very well. But for me, like, when it comes to meals, I don't think French cuisine, when it comes to like meals, like full meals, is that great. I don't. I think it's okay, but it's not something that like wows, you know, that's like, oh my god, it's amazing. And they kind of focus on this with the chef, like, oh my god, he's the best cook in the world. I'm like, okay. Like the thing with the steak, I mean, most likely if you go to a restaurant and you ask for the steak to be cooked to whatever likeness you want it, they will. I personally never experienced it where they won't cook it to my liking, you know? Perhaps they would like the cooking level to just be, you know, whatever they cooked it at. But if you as a client say you don't want this, then most likely they would honor that, right? Like I've said in some other videos, like French customer service is very... it's lackluster and very frustrating. But I think when it comes to food, for the most part, they're a lot nicer. Like when you're in a restaurant, that setting is a lot better compared to other aspects of French customer service. Also, some of the things that were cliche, one of my friends said this, the je suis excité thing. For me, I've definitely made that mistake before. But obviously, that's something you learn really early on when you are learning French. Like, je suis excité means I'm horny, so don't make that mistake, you know. But obviously she just kind of went and she didn't know the language and she made that mistake. But I think that's something they just want to touch on, because they know that English speakers often do make that mistake. Because for us, like, I'm excited means I'm excited, doesn't mean I'm horny. And one of the things that I was like kind of surprised about as well, it's like, again, this is a white girl's perspective of a show, right? It's like when you watch the show, there's two tokens. So you have the token black guy, and then you have an Asian girl. That's it. There's no other color. I mean, obviously France is white as fuck, but it's like, especially in Paris is very diverse compared to other parts of France. It's like, y'all couldn't show more diversity. That's all we got to see. Just like white. That was a little bit unfortunate, but I'm not surprised because obviously this is from some white girl's perspective. And this is why I was saying in my first video, oftentimes when I don't see myself in shows, I most likely am not going to watch because I feel like we don't have a lot of things in common, right? Unless it's a really dope, good show. But if it's not, I'm like, meh, because I can't see myself in here because obviously I'm not your target audience. You know what I'm trying to say? And I know a lot of French people are really irritated by this show just because it did really overgeneralize a lot of stuff. And some of the stuff were true, but it did overgeneralize a lot of stuff and kind of show them in a negative light. But I'm like, some things, like I said, were true. Like the dog shit thing is true. It's true. There's a lot of dog shit. A lot of people don't clean up after their dog shit, and it's something you see a lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the show was cute, and it was like an easy laugh. It was an easy watch for sure. But maybe now that they've gotten the feedback from people who were disgruntled with a lot of stuff that they portrayed, perhaps they'll try to change in the future. But all in all, it was a cute, easy show to watch, but obviously it was super cliched, very, very corny, but some stuff that they touched on were true. That I will have to give it that. Another things, obviously, like I said, was super cliche, and in some ways was trying to like make a parody of France. But hopefully in the future they'll do better. But those are my thoughts for today. Let me know what you think below. And yeah, let me know what you think below. Like always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. I recently did my Zara and H&M haul. Check it out. See what you might like, want to buy. Check out my other stuff and help me get to 1,500 subscribers. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and you're all be back soon for a new video. Peace out, bisous, and hugs.
Pull up, pull up, I pull up, pull up, I pull up, pull up, I pull up, I pull up.